Welcome, welcome, welcome to another session of Philly by Night. Tonight, we have our regularly scheduled Ancilla session titled A Dance of Anarchy, wherein our coterie will have to split the party a little bit to get some politicking done. We have a great stream laid out for you folks this afternoon, and I am so excited to see how our players move along. With that, we are going to dive right into yet another vampire story. It is May 26th, 2024. The sun has set below the horizon. It is 10 p.m. as all of you begin to rouse from day sleep. Zero. When you awaken this evening, there is a figure standing at the foot of your bed. The unmistakable form of your sire, hands wrapped around the footboard as he just stares, daggers at you. You feel your beast clawing at the back of your throat. Such a disappointment. Just because you have been accepted into this new chantry does not mean you are one of us. You have never been, and you never will be. And with that, the figure evaporates into a puff of smoke. Nothing more.
Even though he doesn't need to breathe, I like to think he probably started hyperventilating a little bit.
Likely.
Just grabbing at his non-beating heart at the sight of him. And after a little bit, I would say he probably wipes the blood that is running down his face. And gets ready for the day already in the worst mood he could possibly be in.
So, we do need to establish real quick, though, you taking care of that pesky hunger for that you find yourself at this evening. You go to meet with your usual contact to get your blood bags. But tonight is an exception. Tonight you find yourself so hungry you can't help but drag them off into the alleyway and feed from them directly. You now have your resonance that we rolled out in your channel earlier. But for our viewers at home, Zero has an intense choleric resonance this evening. With that taken care of,
Why did you do this to me?
don't blame me, blame the dice bot, my friend.
Jacob, I blame you.
So, with that, we are going to pivot over. Luke, is there anything that you particularly need to do other than feed after you rouse from day sleep?
No, not really. Just browsing the library.
Okay. Cyrene, how about you?
She's probably in the haven that she's sharing with Lenka, who's out for business tonight, and just tending to her altar prayers and getting all snazzied up to go meet these barons.
Excellent. Finnegan?
Well, after making the Lord Tay a heaping helping of bangers and mash, just is like flipping the little ring that he was given in between his fingers and debating, but keeping it in his pocket.
How about you, Dante?
For those watching in would see him in his shop, and he's working on his bike, tweaking it, and for some reason you just hear clangs and throwing of the tools, and Moonen's just chilling out in the back. He's not anywhere near target distance, and that's
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
So
He's
at
on-
the appointed time, you all gather at Powell House, ready for yet another mission briefing. Greeting you at the door is your ever faithful coterie ghoul, Mr. Carey. Hi, kids. Right this way. And he
Right.
leads everybody in deeper into Powell House, where there is something of a meeting room set up in the former dining hall in Powell House. Tables and chairs set up very similar to how they were in some of the more private briefing areas in Sanctuary. And with that, I will turn the scene over to the rest of you as your faithful shadow, the ever-present cotton candy cloud, enters the room with some folders in her hands.
Sorry for being a little bit late.
It's fine.
We were just, she'll point to Arwen and Tay having the wrestling zoomies.
We just got here ourselves, really.
Oh, good. Mr. Carey, how about some tea?
Tea I could do, yeah. I'm going to get you kids whipped up a nice tall pitcher of ice cold iced tea. And the man toddles off.
You okay with this, Finn?
I mean,
Ice?
when I was up in the mountains, they taught me a little bit about this like sun tea, and also this sweet tea. But but is
Putting ice in tea is an abomination.
it really is? It really fucking is, and I just think it dilutes it all, and it takes away the bitterness. And he just goes off on like a minute and a half rant.
Cyrene is just sitting there, looks towards where Philadelphia Harbor is, does a little, mental calculation of the GPS of where Boston is, and says nothing.
And it's just the very quiet mumbling in Camry, the of he means well, he means well, he means well.
All of the European, British, Irish Welsh are incredibly triggered by the tea.
It's not so much triggered; it's that I just know that I'm better than you.
Well, considering
Are you?
we have a room of folks who can't drink any of it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but we have to look at it.
It's we'll be fine.
Well, that's unfortunate for you now, ain't it, Sugar?
That is the other downside is I enjoy the warmth of a cup of tea in my
See?
hands now.
See, it's nice and cozy. A cuppa, nice and warm and inviting.
Yes.
Nah, see, y'all are missing when that evening humidity hits. You get the nice sun tea over some ice, a little bit of mint in there, a little bit of sugar.
Consider
A
water.
little bit of sugar.
Well, what
Okay.
you know what
I've seen that.
constitutes a little bit of sugar for us?
Well, at least
Correct.
half the bag.
Consider water.
Consider it was about
Consider,
1964.
Hey, well, I just want to say, if you're making your tea out of a second microwave, you have no room to speak to me. Hey,
No, that's why we leave it outside. See, the temperature's already going to be above 100. So the sun will brew that tea right
that makes
up.
sense. That makes sense. I had a couple of folk up in the mountains, and Jade was talking about some sun tea and things like that.
Can we stop talking
Yeah.
about the tea before I lose my mind?
Hi, are we here for something
Oh.
important?
That
Cyrene
should
leans in and is like, dang it, I was just going to tell you the best pickle jars to use.
Is tea not important?
Currently, I dare say no.
Pickles to brew. You're
No,
off.
no.
Why are
just-
you pickling
just the-
tea?
No, it's just the jar.
You're off your rocker. You're off your rocker. That's all it is. That's all it is.
This
Alright.
is how the Irish and the British agree. That's a bad thing. When we agree, that's when you know it's bad.
Now you take that second back.
Oh my god. What's
This is gonna go
All right,
smoothly
before
today.
y'all murder each other.
what's in the folders?
Right. So, y'all already know what the next assignment is. There are a couple of barons that have set up fairly nearby borders. We would prefer to be on polite speaking terms with both these barons.
And you brought us.
You expected me to send a fledgling?
No.
I know.
Besides,
It's a good thing
for
I'm not hungry.
movement, might makes right. So it really only makes sense that I should send folks that are among the strongest.
Hey. And
Right?
if they decide to, muck about a little bit, and we need to puff our chest, we got good chest puffers.
We do. We also have good talkers.
Right.
Huh.
That would, well, mostly she would be like, Luke, Cyrene.
Just will nod. I know I did a bit of research, but kind of when we were doing the whole, revolution thing, and Theo Bell was a problem. Is there going to be that kind of tie problem going on with these
Hi,
ones?
quick question. Why was Theo Bell a problem?
Wasn't he the one that did stuff with the movement itself? Wasn't he like a big one?
Oh, yes. Okay. I thought you meant
Problem?
specifically in here. I was like,
No,
why is he a problem? He should be
no.
somewhere else.
She does mean specifically here, but I've got no reason
Mhm.
to believe that Ms. DeBell will be a problem anymore. When certain
Oh, good.
amounts of information are collected on certain individuals, they tend to cease being a problem.
Right.
Understood.
That
Okay.
Just
said,
making
did
sure.
you get my note about Baron Kim's shoe size?
I did. And I've pulls out 2 boxes. Gifts.
Yeah, that's good.
And they should always come to an event in which I'm not empty-handed.
No. Eh? Now that's the one that we're going to, or is that the Bruja one?
That is
This is-
Bruja, Baron.
Right. So it just kind of turns to Dante and just be like, what is he? What is the other guy like?
You should not worry about gifts
Right.
for Baron.
Is there an issue with the other Baron?
Well, Merrick is polite. We have been introduced. He is a very good lesson in the fact that polite does not equal safe.
Correct.
Oh, never.
provided you have a
Yeah.
fairly high pain tolerance, you'll be carrying the gifts that Baron Merrick is more likely to want with you.
Yeah, don't let him touch you.
Got it.
Yeah, he wanted to have Lenka pay him for some body work and a toe. We kind of said no to that. But he did give me titty beads once. It's a very
Yeah.
interesting St. Patty's party.
That's more for Mardi Gras, but right. I guess I'll find some beads on me way over.
I mean,
No, 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 no.
he's more likely to
Thank you. Let's as a whole.
want to. Well,
I'll keep me shillelagh ready.
Baron Merrick is a flesh crafter.
Hmm.
Oh, you know?
And he's a flesh
Should've-
crafter who considers himself a bit of an artiste.
Hmm.
Those are the most concerning kind.
Right.
Maybe we should have kept some of those flowers for them then.
You mean the one down
Well, I mean,
below?
they- seems like something they might have appreciated.
Would you like...
Finnegan just kind of like shuffles his overcoat a little bit more comfortably.
Zero pulls out the leaf.
Which flowers?
The ones made of skin and flesh, obviously.
Yeah, this one. This one, Cyrene.
Oh, right.
Did you not leave that in your lab where you were doing things with it? Just
I
carry
was-
it around with you?
I
It's
was
a little
going
odd.
Ain't that
Okay.
contaminated
I
if it's outside of the lab?
I can make the chain.
It is, however, now more akin to beef jerky
yeah, it's less.
than yeah, it's less. But
Hmm.
it's been adopted by Zero, I guess.
This is my child.
It's the only child you're gonna have, bud.
All right, I want to hear no argument. I just want it for the record. Nobody can give Cyrene crap about Pamela now. If Zero adopted the flesh plant.
No, he didn't adopt the flesh plant. He adopted a leaf.
Don't.
This is my emotional
What are-
support body horror. It's fine.
What are you doing over there in that chantry that you have flesh plants?
Surprisingly, wasn't the Chantry.
Well, you understand that meadow was not the only problem that Quasimodo was having.
Hey,
Dante leans over to Finn, and we're the crazy ones.
hey, right? Hey, they're telling me.
No. I do not claim that I was busy doing city. You know what? No,
I've never
we need
claimed to
get
be sane in my
focused.
life.
Hey.
Anyway,
Right, just looking
fair
over
enough.
to Alicia, just like, right, this diplomatic mission is gonna go swimmingly.
At any rate, we would like to be on good terms with both Baron Kim and Baron Merrick. Of the two, having never met Baron Kim and running solely on rumors and information, I would rather go speak to Baron Merrick. But then, I have been introduced to Baron. We were on fairly good terms when we was together down south. So,
based on...
Given. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cyrene.
I was just gonna say, given Merrick's history with our Primogen, it is probably wise that I do not go talk to the man as pleasant company as he is.
Based on Merrick's clan, I don't want to go to him.
That's that. Oh, hey.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to be nice about it. I don't want to meet him.
you do realize we have individuals from that family in the city, and if I find any disrespect, I'm going to take it straight to your region.
I'm not planning on disrespect. It is simply I don't want to meet him because I'm scared. There's a difference. I don't have to be. It's not rude. It's fear.
And the clan of the dragon that exists in the city.
From what I've heard, he's younger, right?
It isn't as if we only have one.
There's multiple. What if I just hide in the chantry?
Lad, do you want a shovel?
Zero.
Yes.
And we'll just gesture to Alicia and then go make really tall arm motions.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, I'm not its meat. I just happen to be able to do several of the things that tend to make folks scared of them.
As we said, that,
Speaking, you said scared. You remember those roses that we used a little bit back, the white ones.
Wait,
For
Do
you
I
have to be
know
more
if they have?
specific, Dante? We did a lot.
the ones that we used for the gargoyle. Not the gargoyle. Dang, it's all blending together. Really.
Everything that comes out of everyone's mouth always fills me with
Oh,
more
when we
concern.
fought Angel.
No,
When you did what?
the one that we tried to bring around when I dressed like the dog. That
Yeah, we fought Angel and we had the Wild Rose stuff.
Yes, I was just
Yeah.
thinking, this Baron likes to collect roses. Maybe we could grab some of those as a quick
He
last-minute
likes
gift.
he likes to collect people
Mm.
from a specific family.
Oh,
They are the clan of
I do
dragons.
understand.
They like their
I meant
hordes.
as a symbolic gesture that A, we know what you're up to, and B, here's flowers.
I fear that if you give him a flower, that might seem a little bit condescending.
That or we start a blood marriage contract.
Well,
That too.
I'd rather not.
I'm more worried that he will see it as a way in and think y'all are foolish or something. He collects roses. He collects Toreador. He doesn't collect flowers.
Nah.
I just
I think we're fine.
beads, flowers.
He seems to be an extravagant kind of fella.
He will be asking for pieces, I imagine.
I don't want to.
Man's got a collection to uphold.
I don't. Is that so? Are you asking us to go and establish peace by giving him a piece of us?
No.
Well, he might not be asking for that from you per se. I have lost track of what his collection already contains.
Could he use said pieces to make more of us?
Cyrene is just going to point to Dante as probably the indicator of which clan he's going to, if their information is still correct from the last time.
Oh, hell no.
I don't right know.
If that's the price for peace, are you wanting us? Are you and our prince wanting that to happen? And Finnegan kind of gets a little bit serious now.
Well, so here's the thing. He would make a much better ally than an enemy. Am I going to command you to cut off bits and parts? I am not. If he suggests well, there is something that I was hoping to get from him as well, other than this sort of piece of cord. From Baron Kim, peace. That's really all we need. From Baron Merrick, well,
for Baron Kim, she's Brewhawk, correct?
Yes.
So she would want to have a show of strength, something to prove that we are worthy of peace. Maybe?
That seems a possibility. I do not have the same level of personal relationship with Baron Kim as I have with Baron Merrick.
If we are concerned about Dante and having to give up a piece, would it be smart to have Dante come with the two blood mages to the to Baron Kim?
Man does like to punch things.
Yeah, I think if she would want a show of strength to show worthiness, I don't think Cyrene or myself would really be of help there. Dante could come with us. We wouldn't have to worry about Baron Merrick.
Don't yous have special little tricks and stuff to really mess up with people who are stronger than yous? That you might not be strong physically, but y'all can stop others in their tracks with a word, right?
Others can, yes.
Well, there's. If you're talking about the thing with the Kuma, I realized it needed more workshopping. But there are things we can do. However, I'd rather, if we are trying to make peace, while yes, I may be bringing weapons with me, they are a last resort.
Yeah, Cyrene would be able to cover that, but
Right.
maybe.
So there is something else that I need from Baron Merrick.
Hey,
I find myself in possession of gifts that are a bit beyond my capabilities. I could use a tutor.
for when you go all
How
Yes.
much are you willing to give to learn?
Well, that would depend entirely on what he's asking.
I
And
would
that's
say it would
what-
be no less than a favor.
well, that's what we're going to find out. innit?
Well, if this is something that you really need, and I consider you a friend, if they desire something from me, oh fuck, maybe I should go.
It is, like I said, I can't ask that from any of you. I can't even guarantee that that would be something he was thinking.
Why don't we find the price tag first? And I don't love sending the two nerds out to fight a brouhaha by themselves and make introductions. So, like, the Zira, you have a little bit of a point. And so, Dante, if you want, you can come with. Or if you want to hang back and then maybe see what this Merrick wants, see what his price would be. Asked Lenka for a toe, you said?
It was to fix a tattoo she had, or has. We ended up fixing it ourselves, but
So would it be smarter to have Dante there to maybe clarify the price tag so it's not higher?
Honestly, without Lenka here to cover the more physical aspects for you two, I would feel better if Dante went with you. I think Finnegan and myself can handle. Well, my country is more known for siding with the dragons. We have a bit more history with dealing with the Slayers as well. So,
Hey, if we need to get out, or if we need to, as you said, puff our chest, me and
And-
Tay got that, and Tay will like give a low growl
yeah,
a little bit.
we also have Tay. So
You also have Alicia. Sorry, the keeper.
I had not. Well, I suppose if y'all insist, but I would be in the background. Y'all understand? I still have to maintain real god status.
yes,
Hey,
we do not take.
if
I would imagine taking the keeper to someone who collects people. Seems like a bad plan.
That is true.
Zero, I'm also going to point out you would be taking the prince's keeper of Elysium, who is also his wife, with us while the man is going through a very stressful time right now.
If you want to go and talk to him about it,
Just-
I mean, I could dial him up right now for you. I guess Finn starts taking out his like Nokia phone.
I would like to point out that Alicia is her own person,
No, absolutely.
and she is not defined by the people that she surrounds herself with.
No, absolutely. So why are you volunteering her to go on a mission for?
I didn't. I was just saying she is also here.
I
He's
hadn't
here.
intended on joining. We do have a personal connection that while I may remember it one way, Baron Merrick may remember it quite a different way.
And she wants to be asking him for stuff, and we're just finding out the price tag.
But
We're emissaries.
That bit of information that I, in specific, am looking for a teacher of fleshcrafting is something you can offer to
Now
Baron
is it
Merrick.
you, or is it the other one, the Seneschal?
The fact that it is me underneath the Seneschal is a piece of information you could offer as a means of
Trade and barter. But yeah, we'll save that for the last resort, because like you were telling us that it's like super hush-hush and stuff like that.
It is. It's a bit of a test.
By the kings, what was that alarm?
Keeper, I must ask, because this did come up, just for future reasons. When it comes to the Seneschal, what clan would we know the Seneschal as?
Well, the Seneschal is an 8-foot-tall monster with 6 arms.
Correct. A fledgling. Luke and I made a comment about how we do not know any Elder Tzimitzi.
You mentioned we didn't know any flesh crafters, yes.
Correct. And the fledgling found that odd because she thought that our Seneschal was a flesh crafter.
Our Seneschal is a flesh crafter.
Okay.
Yes. I think the question was we didn't know any Tzimitzi, and the Seneschal has never claimed that clan, which was
That
what
is
my
true.
answer was.
It is
Yes.
assumed.
It is assumed that, okay.
It seems, Mr. Mallory, you and I share similar weakness, though, of course, for you it is bloodbound, and for me it is not.
Oh, it is an imposition I had before all of this, but yes, this has only made it worse.
I just don't want to be the reason why something goes wrong. So, I like to ask questions.
Of course.
But if the Seneschal never puts a name to it, I never have to claim one way or the other.
That is
There you
true.
are. Better to claim ignorance than to claim genius.
Okay. All right. So we have a skeleton of a plan.
We do, and we have the group set. So are we ready to, well, are y'all ready to head out?
I do want to let my group know that I am a bit on the more short-tempered side. I shall do my best to keep it in check, but if you need to kick me, please feel free to kick me. I understand that I might be short.
Hey, that's why Dante's coming along.
Right.
I shall do my best to reel it back, Cyrene. I'm not...
Keep it in check. Don't there. So, I understand that you're worried about a lot and that you think that there's going to be problems. If you don't make problems, there won't be problems. You keen?
Yeah, but somehow I always tend to make problems, so...
So don't.
Try not to.
It is at about this time that Mr. Carey comes wandering back in, a tray in one hand and a potted plant tucked under his arm. He sets the tray down on the table, still kind of cradling the potted plant in his arm. On the tray, you see a glass of lemonade or a glass of iced tea with a lemon wedge for each of you, and in the center is a pitcher. I couldn't help but overhear you guys talking, and if you're going to go visiting somebody, it's always nice to have a host gift, as it were. Powell House maintains a few of these here potted wild roses. I think it'd be a great touch.
He's trying his best. Mr. Amadra, he is trying his best. You
No.
cannot be upset with him.
No, I know. It's just it's thank you, Mr. Carey.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to
You
call
will.
Sugar Britches, make sure she can bring cars around.
And who are you calling?
He looks back. He's, oh, just call my girlfriend. And he just toddles off.
Hey, whatever. Is that Miss Wayne? Shouts after him.
I have questions.
Finnegan,
I always have
you
questions.
remember the last
Actually,
time you went on a... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying what? Like, I didn't do nothing.
Just remember Ripjaw and Lady Catherine Finnegan. That is all I ask when you start this pursuit.
See, I was right though.
Luke, the best way that I can figure out as the growing questions is getting a journal and just jotting them down every single time you have a question. I've already filled out an entire notebook.
It's less a question. Well, I guess more of a who puts up with him that much.
He's a darling man.
It's oh god, his voice is like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
so
curious.
is hers on occasion, so it kind of works out.
I'm just curious. I
I
find people interesting because I don't understand them.
I guess I just got used to it with all the coal mining and my earlier days. People breathe like that all the time.
he's just so positive. I can't get past it.
What is wrong with positivity?
Nothing's wrong with he's just it's like an exuding aura, and it's just like see, like when you're growing up and life is shite all around.
Do you find comfort in sadness?
Yes.
Yes,
Wild.
routine is comforting.
Right. So one more thing, Mr. Amadra.
Hey,
Should you require another piece of information to offer, feel free to tell Mr. Merrick how I obtained this ability.
right. That was after the hospital, right? For my memory.
It was.
Right. Grand. We'll try to keep secrets close to the chest, and we'll see. We don't even know what this Merrick is offering, right? Like that's what all of this is about. We're making up all of these scenarios in our heads, and I bet we're gonna get there. We're gonna offer him this rose bush. We're gonna sit down in his like flesh chairs or whatever the fuck, and we're gonna talk, right, Luke?
Yes. Cyrene, mind your tension there.
So
This is going to go great, folks.
it is. This conversation goes on for a little while before Mr. Carey, and for some of you, a very familiar figure walks into the dining hall of Powell House. It is Miss Wayne.
Ah.
Finnegan, are you getting your soaps? You
Ha.
enjoying yourself?
No,
This
it's
bitch.
more or less I was right. I knew it.
Is it not often that you're right?
No, I'm always. You see, now you're catching on, lad. Now you're catching on.
So
Okay.
Mr. Carey gives you a great big wide grin. So who's coming with me?
Who are you going to?
I'll be taking y'all to and he pulls out a little notepad out of his breast pocket.
You're going to the Kim one, right?
We're going to be going to Albany to see Miss Kim.
Oh,
Mm. So that means we're going with Miss Waynden. Finn just tries not to look extremely relieved.
Wear your seatbelts.
Please.
The
And
respective
remember, discretion's the better part of valor.
your respective drivers lead you out to rather unremarkable vehicles. These are clearly nicer SUVs, but they are not the typical John Sexton height of luxury vehicles. These are more utilitarian. We can move around and be unseen. So, first and foremost, we have Cyrene, Zero, and Dante going to see Merrick,
what?
or going to see Miss Kim. That's what it was.
Surprise! No one knew what was going on.
The fear in the Tremere's eyes.
We've decided we
Um,
don't need the Tremere. We've sacrificed them to the dragon.
Correct.
So,
I'm just a little
Yippee!
guy.
New character.
No.
there's nothing wrong with having to make a new character.
Yeah, but I just made this man.
Well, as we said, don't make problems.
Just remember what I always say. Death is a kindness, one you are not owed.
If we bring someone
So-
else in, I just fill it with all new traumas.
We are going to start with our visit to Baron Kim, and then we will be pivoting over to our meeting with Baron Merrick. So, for the time being, we are going to pop you and you. Whoop. There we go. I flicked too hard. So, the ride is fairly uneventful, but I will give you the opportunity, if any of you would like, to chat amongst yourselves, ask a question of your driver, what have you.
Cyrene, what do we know of this Kim beyond shoes?
Shoes. What kind of shoes did you get her, Zero? Just so I have an idea of what sort of arts and stuff we're looking at.
Ballet. The most dangerous dance of all.
Okay. Yeah, given what that with 3 dots in medicine, Cyrene would be familiar with how ballet kind of basically fucks your whole body up, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah,
Safe
that
to
makes
assume.
sense. Yeah, okay, given the way your bones start going like this and then anyways. So, ballet dancer, gathering a lot of influence among the arts that the Toreador left behind, but given what we did, that's not surprising. History of mercenary work on both sides. Apparently did a stint up in, I have to check. I don't think I specifically got told Portland, just that she was in an attack dog coterie on the West Coast.
Say both sides. We Anarchy, Sabat, Camarilla.
Anarch, Cam mostly. There was a stint as a attack dog coterie somewhere on the West Coast, but I couldn't quite get the location of where. Has been playing on the historical Gangrel and Bruja alliance, trying to, bring that back to fruition. But given how disenfranchised the two were by our takeover and Burke's former treatment, well, it's not easy. It's not hard to see why that would be an easy sell for them.
Fantastic. Easy work.
I'm going to let you two take lead here.
Before too
Let
long,
me just check.
the car
What?
glides to a stop in front of a rather unassuming brick building that has what looks to be a dance studio. And if you look in your Ancilla chat, you will see the logo for the dance studio.
I feel like we're about to enter Dance Fight Club.
If anyone has kindred iconography, I can give you more information about this logo. Otherwise, it just looks like good branding.
Mhm.
As you
Uh,
as Mr. Carey parks the vehicle, he looks back at everybody and just gives a big grin and a thumbs up, and then reaches down. And can you all give me a wits and awareness, please?
Why is he pulling out the shotgun?
Who
let
said
me just
anything
check
about
a
pulling?
thing.
All I said is that he's reaching down.
I'm
Zero,
too
this
anxious.
seems you are certainly in a vehicle. This is definitely a place where you are.
Zero's too busy thinking about this
I'm
morning
a.
to worry.
You said awareness, so I get. So I get to add my extra die because of my descendant lore sheet. Sweet.
Yes. Cyrene, you would see him.
I don't.
Oh boy. Okay, so Dante, you can spend a willpower. You would select reroll, not reroll failures, because that would make things worse. But if you click select reroll, you can reroll just that 10 or up to 3 dice. But make sure you absolutely select that 10. Otherwise, things will happen. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to mark that. Okay. So for those of you that got 3 successes, you see Mr. Carey reach down and pat the pistol grip of what you would know to be his shotgun, Old Bess. Just in case things get, a little dicey.
I would say, okay.
Well, I know Mr. Harrison in the past has been part of hostile mergers.
Dante would see him pulling the shotgun and just, for safety, pop potents.
Lethal body, I take it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the car is parked. y'all are hopping out, heading into this well lit on the inside dance studio. Uh, as you enter, Baron Kim, what would they see?
They would see a beautiful young Korean woman in her mid 20s. Coming out of what looks like a talk with some other people. One looking like a South Asian woman and another looking like another Korean woman before kind of shooing them off to do their various work. She is wearing a sheer black top that is decorated with like some flowers that comes up around her neck. Her hair is pulled back into a tight bun. She's wearing a pair of jeans and black ankle boots. And she will turn and look at the three people coming in. And she will offer a polite smile and take a couple of steps toward them. And she is walking with an unearthly amount of grace.
Cyrene is kind of standing in the doorway with like her hand on Arwen's harness. Miss Kim, as this is your house, would you prefer for my friend to wait outside, or may he wait by the door inside?
Oh, he is welcome within the bounds here. And she will activate Feral Whispers and lean down to speak to the dog for a moment. Hello. I do believe that nice lady over there probably has some treats for you if you'd like.
Treats, you say? Okay. And Arwen trots off. So, I'm going to say, Cyrene, go ahead and give me a wits and insight, please.
Can do. Would body language come into play at all?
I'm going to say no on this one.
Or, sorry, emotional state. I don't have body language. Yeah, no worries. I still get my bonus stuff from that lore sheet. I don't think one's going to do it, so is it cool if I spend a willpower?
Go for it.
Okay. Nope.
Okay. It is a sliding scale of difficulty. So you can tell that the Baron has roused the blood, is affecting some sort of supernatural abilities, but you can't quite tell which.
Okay. Probably the only one I can assume with confidence, because I saw her barking and growling at the dog, is Feral Whispers.
That is at least one of them, yeah.
Okay. But they'll just nod, and it's her house. Cyrene's not surprised.
So, Zero, would you like to take the lead since you're the one with the gifts?
No.
That's a shame, buddy.
Good evening, miss. How would you like to be addressed?
Baron Kim, Miss Kim, Helen, I don't particularly care.
Good to know, Baronkin. My name is Zero, and this is my friends, Cyrene and Dante. And we come with gifts and conversation. And he hands her the gifts. And if she would open the gift, she would see that it is Nico looking through the correct terminology. Hold on.
I'll save you the looking time, and
Thank
with
you.
the time that you saved for looking, I'd like you to roll me a charisma and etiquette, please.
No.
So while you're rolling, Zero would have in his hands 2 pair of Gainer Minden ballet point shoes. These are from the Europa collection. They are the higher end, roughly $150 a pair. But you would notice them immediately. Gainer Minden has some very particular packaging that they use.
May I willpower that piece?
Let me see. You can certainly try.
I'm going to. Okay.
Okay, so that is 2 successes. I'm going to let the Baron decide how they take that.
Helen will look at open the packages slightly, like give them a good look over and stare at the shoes for a moment, and recognize her size. Give him a very odd look. And glance to the other two. Right. Talks. Follow me. Just kind of make a dismissive gesture for them to follow her to further into the studio. And she will turn on her heel and start walking.
At this point, it's either stand in the doorway with our thumbs or, yeah.
I'm going, but I would lean into Cyrene. So shoes? Well, not
with
her brand?
Cyrene's, just to double check, because Cyrene has that dot in dance for her performance, would she know that these are really high-end ballet shoes? No.
You would know that these are preferred ballet shoes for a lot of point dancers.
No, they're like, you know how you're a car guy, right? It's like being given the car of your dreams kind of ballet shoes. They're the top of the line sort of deal.
Well, but judging by her reaction, maybe we overdid it a bit. Like we're showing our hand too soon?
That, or like many of us, Baron Kim does not like it when people gather personal information and make it obvious.
Aye. Alright, let's just get on with this.
Yeah.
Zero will walk behind them, just kind of keeping his head down.
And Siren will just kind of reach back and pat whatever part of Zero they can reach.
She will lead them further into the dance studio, and it seems like they're passing various other studios that are other dance rooms that are within the studio. You'll see lots of mirrors, a bar. You'll probably see some classes going on, but she leads y'all into what looks like it could be something into one of the empty studios. There are benches, and she kind of sits down, puts the boxes next to her, and looks up at the three of you. She'll close the door behind you. You can speak freely here. What families do you come from, and who are you?
Silene, you can go first.
She'll kind of give a little head bow. Very well, Baron. Cyrene Leclerc, you met Arwen Maphamilis, Clan Tremere, Court Oracle of Prince Sexton's Court.
Dante Dubois, La Sombra. Been around a bit. Pleasure.
Zero, ma'am. Reside with Tremere, and yes.
All right. And I'm assuming you're with the Camarilla.
Yes, Baron.
With is such a loose. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes, Dante and myself have rejoined after helping Prince Sexton handle the management issue.
Yes, I'm aware that all of you had a bit of a stint as anarchs with your coup.
Interesting.
So what do you want?
Well, firstly, what is it that you want here? Because you obviously have a distaste for the Camarilla, yet it is Camarilla City, and you are here.
Yes.
I would
But you
like to remind. I would like to take this moment to remind our players we are outside of Prince Sexton's domain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and you are within my domain now. So please, answer my question.
That we understand.
Clearly. We are here at the behest of our prince to see if there could be some kind of arrangement of allegiance, or at the very least, an understanding of partnership. Is that how you worded signing partnership?
Allegiance?
I believe what my associate is trying to say, if I may step in here, Baron Kim, is that Prince Sexton is wishing to negotiate neutrality between our areas, potentially trade at some point, but to start non-aggression before further talks can be worked out, especially given how much work you have been doing handling the former prince's messes in this area and those left behind by her mismanaged rose garden.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you recognize these are his messes now that I'm currently cleaning as the current prince of the domain. That is correct. Right, Mix Leclerc?
Sorry, just to make sure Fennec is processing correct, because audio, my sensory kicked in. Helen's implying John should have been cleaning it up and not her, and wants acknowledgement for that, correct?
Yep, that they are John's messes now that she's been cleaning up. Yes.
And they will nod. You are not incorrect. Those of us who fought against this former regime are few but we are doing our best to clean as many messes as we can. If there's a list you would wish to give me, I can personally take it to the prince and his seneschal and see where we cannot come up with some help, potentially.
Oh, I can certainly come up with a list. Because these are still coming from within your domain. Because unlike you, she looks over at Dante, I can read a map and I know where the domain lines are. I know where some of these whites that have been coming out from and running into my domain and around it that I've been having to clean up from your previous regime's problems. Now, if you are going to stand as the Camarilla, you will let me finish. Then you should stand with your mistakes and clean them as you are.
Well, if you're going to talk about reading maps, if they cross the border, they then become your problems, yes?
Yes, but if they're coming within your own borders...
Zero gently kicks Dante.
Then you should be able to expunge the problem as is.
Dante,
Mm-hmm.
can you roll me a charisma and etiquette, please?
Mm-hmm. Can I add my stunning to that?
You being
No.
pretty. You being pretty won't get you out of the consequences.
Hey, man's got to try.
No, pretty privilege does not really count for much here.
And here I thought 0 was going to be the problem.
So what is it? Charisma and etiquette?
Charisma and etiquette.
Fantastic.
Can Cyrene give an assistance die because she does have that dot
No.
in etiquette?
No.
Please?
This is just seeing how far Dante's foot goes in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. 2 successes. Unfortunately, that does not pass the 3 difficulty that was set. So I would like to ask chat, what wine pairs best with shoe leather? Asking for a friend.
It's called La Humiliation.
So, Baron Kim, the floor is yours.
Helen will stand and take a few steps forward toward Dante. You are here to make peace with me. You are here as diplomats. You are in my domain, within my studio. You have no leg to stand on with your arguments when you clearly do not know what is going on within your own territory. Take a seat, Dante, and she will point at the floor.
I don't think I will.
Okay.
Baron Kim, if
Okay.
or we
Up.
okay.
Helen, can you please roll for me a composure and resolve?
Mm-hmm.
I thought 0 would be the problem.
I do have that lore sheet. I'm going to use it.
Okay.
I'm just playing what I am given.
What you're given is a muzzle. Shh.
But she is going to make him sit.
Okay.
And
let's see here.
4, 5, 10, 14.
I love you, Humble, so much.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity and performance.
Cool.
'Cause
She's
we're gonna
activating awe. And that adds.
excellent. Because we are going to make Dante sit.
Would Unswayable Mind come in at all?
It would. It would. Typically, yes. So go ahead and oh geez. Unswayable mind. Or
It helps add to resistance.
yes.
To add your dots and
I
fortitude.
just need to pull up the actual roll for that. So I believe that's a resolve.
I don't think I've ever used that before.
Most people don't, believe it or not.
It is
It
a
adds
really
to mental
underused
resistance.
skill.
It adds your fortitude dots to resistance, mental resistance pools. But the thing about this is that it is adding to her performance pool rather than trying to sway you. So this is more of a dex plus athletics to dodge.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
So
So you will be giving me a dex and athletics. However, 0, Cyrene, I will need you to make a composure and intelligence roll.
Don't drag me into this.
Well, if she's activating awe, we're getting dragged in.
2, 3, 4. Okay.
Um,
Composure plus intelligence. Would unswayable mind?
If you have unswayable mind, you may add it.
Thank you.
For your roll.
Okay, so that is
4,
7,
8.
8.
Because we are using unswayable mind, since we both have it, do we get that extra discipline dot?
No, that is a different. Those dots get added differently. It is not for the passive resist. It's
No
for
worries.
like activated disciplines.
No worries. Just wanted to make sure. That's why I asked.
Because I'm afraid of this woman. Even though I have 4 successes, I'm going to re-roll.
Oh,
those
okay.
3 failures.
Okay. So we're spending another willpower.
Yep, I have 7, but this will probably be my last willpower I use. Okay.
Does 5 meet it, or would I need to spend willpower?
You can go ahead and spend willpower if you like. I don't believe it will do much good.
Okay.
But you're free to. You're free to if you like.
If it's not, I'm going to bank it then. If it's not going to do anything, and just roll with what's happening.
So.
0 with the fear. 6 successes.
How would Kim like me to sit?
It doesn't matter. Because in a flash, your feet are out from under you. You find yourself slamming hard against the mat as your entire weight just drops onto the mat. You are going to take 1 superficial damage. Zero, Cyrene. This is poetry in motion. This is like watching the fury and grace of a storm Baron Kim is easily able to take Dante right to the ground. It seems effortless for her. Cyrene, this is a joke, though. I need to preface this. You think you might be in love. Like,
Pretty
this
woman,
is
pretty
like
and can kill me. Woo!
women, right? But women that can kill you.
Cyrene has a type. We know.
Useless lesbian activated.
But I return the scene back to y'all. You just watched your coterie mate get put on his back, and the Baron does not seem to look like she's making any extra moves. She put him on the mat and is just standing over him.
She seems to have just come out of a pirouette. You would have heard the squeak of the rubber of her boots on the wooden floor. And she stands. She stares out at him. Maybe some floor time will do you good. And she'll look back at the other two. Was this not supposed to be a diplomatic mission of yours?
It was, and I do apologize for my coterie mate's feistiness. We are adjusting.
I don't mind feist. I don't mind feisty. I mind a disrespect. She will
And for that, I
deactivate
do
all.
apologize.
Let's get back to this conversation a little clear-headed, shall we? And she'll return to the bench that she was sitting on.
Cyrene kind of shakes their head for a second and gestures, shaking off the effects of awe and gestures to the bench across from the Baron. May I?
Of course. Mr. Dante, you may rejoin us when you think you have regained your own composure.
Thank you kindly. I'll stay there for a few more minutes, and then I will join.
Zero has stayed by the wall solidly, just everything
Zero.
is fine.
Mr. Zero, you are
Uh,
a part of this. I fully expect to hear your voice. Please take a seat.
of course, Baron. And he will sit down, the stiffest little Tremere that could.
Peace. That's what you're asking me for.
That is correct. We would lack peace, so that way we can engage in further negotiations. As I said, I know Prince Sexton is a man who believes in building something better than what was previously here. Most of us do.
I've heard this spiel before. What makes him different?
Different
I've
from
heard
any
this-
other dreamer?
I've heard this sales pitch of the dream over and over and over. What makes his effective? What makes his better? Why are you buying it?
Because we are here and we're what we are with our backgrounds, our various faults that you've seen. And yet he's made us all come together despite our histories of infighting for a common cause of acceptance.
Upon our introduction, you had said you were barely Camarilla.
Yes.
You were part of what fought in his war, in his coup. Correct?
I did. Sorry, Jeremy didn't hear that last part.
A part of his coup. Correct?
Correct.
So you, and you, she looks to Cyrene, are here because he is able to give you something for fighting and giving you domain power. So what you have to say is heavily tainted by that bias. She will look to Zero. Why are you buying it?
The prince looks at broken things and gives them purpose.
Every prince can look at a broken thing and give them purpose. Broken things have the most to prove.
He gives them purpose without fear. Without control. Ma'am.
Your fear or his fear?
That shall remain to be seen.
He is a prince. He has no reason to fear giving you a little bit of leash. Because if you strangle yourself on it, it will be no skin off of his teeth.
That is very true. But he's given faith.
Okay. She'll lean back and she'll look at the three of you. Tell me, what happened to the Bruja in this region?
Well, could give it to you in academic terms. Make it sound pretty. But you and I know better. They were massacred, tortured, slaughtered, sent out, destroyed. Under Burke's hand.
You asked a question earlier, and you said that it was tainted. And you're correct, more than you know. It was tainted because I have watched this happen to your kind, to my kind, and to anyone that authority, whatever titles they give themselves, have unleashed upon our kind as a whole throughout history. And that is what drew me in. It wasn't some thing of power. I could give two shits about power. I despise power. What I like is for everyone to have a voice, for everyone to be treated on an equal level until they take it away from somebody else, as was done here to your people.
Dante, do you know what you speak of?
Genocide?
You're speaking of anarchy.
I dabbled a bit.
I've heard.
I'm guessing you've heard a lot about all of us? Or just...
You're not the only one that can get information.
I figured.
She kind of taps the boxes.
Information is easy to come by. especially when you have influence and power, so I'm not surprised.
Yes, it is easy to speak down on power when you have power. Just like money.
If I may be so bold, and you can stop me at any point. For this, what would you like?
If we are to continue peaceful relations, I would like this bunker dealt with. From what I'm able to get from my own intelligence, it is on your side of the border. I don't know where specifically, but it seems to be underground. I need it dealt with. It is becoming far too much of a masquerade risk. And while I am an anarch, the masquerade and most of the traditions are common sense. I would like an emissary to your court because I would like to know of the dealings going on within the city that will affect me and mine. And regular talks.
How
If we
regular?
are to come to any kind of peace. Oh,
Bi-weekly or
monthly?
monthly? Monthly? Alright.
Weekly is far too frequent.
Zero has pulled out his notebook and has written all of this down.
So, acceptable.
Cyrene, with the emissary, that would.
The
Miss
emissary
Kim,
would. Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead. I'd say normally, from my understanding, given the various courts I've been in, the Anarch emissary is someone that Baron Kim would choose from their barony.
Yes.
Well,
You
that's
could always have an emissary from your court come to mine for regular speaks with either myself or my emissary, but that is up to your prince.
For these monthly meetings,
Yeah.
is there a location that you would like to go to, or how would you like to handle those?
We can discuss it once we have it arranged.
Of course.
I imagine we will want to find an equally neutral area.
Of course.
This a buffer zone, if you will.
Cyrene, give me a wits and intelligence, please.
Sure. Blood dice, yes.
No, not on this one.
Okay.
It's fine.
2
It's fine.
successes, or should I spend willpower? Okay.
Don't worry about it. You do remember that the last city you were in had a neutral zone between Anarch territory and Camarilla territory. So,
Mhm.
you know, was just that little spark of an idea in the back of your mind.
And
Of course,
Baron, I
neutral zone, one would have to set up who does what.
of course.
Sorry, go ahead, Zero.
No, I
Mhm.
I was just I apologize if me getting these shoes for you were an overstep. I felt like it would be less insulting if I got it in the right size than not. But I do apologize if it looked like I was trying to show off.
Do you like it when people buy you the correct size underwear?
It's never happened before, but I would guess that it would not be the best feeling.
It is very uncomfortable when people know intimate details about you.
Of course.
Especially point shoes, because there's not one single measurement for point shoes. There's like 5 different measurements for point shoes. You would have to know the exact measurements of Baron Kim's feet.
Yep. Zero is
Helen
just like,
will shed her leather jacket, and it'll show off this massive scar of lightning that goes down her back and down her arms. She'll stand up and cross her arms as she looks at the three of you. I believe this is a start.
Our friend Alicia was perhaps wanting to speak with you on other issues. As a representative of our court, perhaps something could be made between those two, with you sending an emissary.
So out of character, that was for Merrick to
Oh, that was
Yeah.
learn the.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
I thought, never mind. Yeah, sorry, crossing streams.
You're good.
You could. Any discussions required can go through an emissary if we have that arranged, or if you make your own Anarch emissary to the Anarchs to speak with us on your behalf. But this is a start. I appreciate boldness. Just remember where your lines are. And if any of you ever require a dance lesson, feel free to come by again.
I would like to offer my apologies. I'm not going to make excuses for it. It was me, and I apologize. And I hope it doesn't influence who I represent.
I will accept that apology when you come by for your dance lesson, Dante. It is not optional with you.
Well, my wife liked to dance, I suppose. That would be acceptable. Just let me know.
Good.
Guess you could
And she
say
will
she
lead
likes to
you
dance
out.
with danger.
Yeah, Cyrene would leave
Dancing
her.
is always a great form of expression.
I think that's
So-
the best dancing I've ever seen.
So, Ancilla,
Mm-hmm.
you have, I will say, you have negotiated with Baron Kim. And it seems that you also have a task. That task being dealing with this bunker that has been producing whites. This is something that you should absolutely take to the prince, and we'll handle that at the close of the session. But for now, y'all head back out to the SUV. Arwen in tow, who just can't stop, like, chirping and grumbling. The scent of bacon-flavored dog treats hangs thick on his breath.
Good boy. I'm sure you charmed him quite well. Scritch, scritch, scritch.
Don't make problems. Fucking, of course I've made problems. I always make fucking problems.
You did fine.
Okay, everybody in the car, and then we can discuss. Honestly, that is not as bad as the first brouhaha meeting I ever had in this town went.
Nor I.
So, as you all get into the vehicle, you see Mr. Carey sitting there. He now has the shotgun in his lap. and has a slightly worried look on his face.
Everything all right?
Oh, it's fine. I just had some hobo in a Halloween costume come up try to accost me, but I showed him old Bess and he ran off real quick.
A Halloween costume. It's May.
Well, he was in a big black robe, kind of mask on his face.
What did the mask?
Kuma.
This
I'd like
looks
to
like. This
vibe
sounds
check
like.
Mr. Carey.
Sure, go ahead and vibe check, Mr. Carey.
Zero is going to look out the window. Look to see if he sees someone with a black robe and a mask.
You don't see anyone at present. He seems genuinely nervous. It looks like it might have possibly been more than just a waving the shotgun around.
Is there a problem with this, you two?
I think it's best we get in the car and head back home as quick as possible. While Miss Kim was gracious enough to have this meeting, it's always good not to linger after such meetings.
I mean, yes, but should we let them know that there might be a problem outside their door?
He makes a point. It would go a long way, I think.
You did exchange.
Did we
for
get
the sake
contact?
For the sake of story, you did exchange contact information with Baron Kim.
Okay. We'll shoot her a message in the car.
Okay.
Good thinking, Zero.
Now, with that,
Try.
the SUV glides away from the sidewalk, and you depart back to the domain of Prince Sexton. You all will be heading back to the Coterie Haven of Powell House. And with that, we are going to call a short 10-minute break, and we will pivot over to our Ancilla Group 2 as they deal with Baron Merrick. So stay tuned, and we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back. So, our first scene was our Ancilla emissaries meeting with Baron Helen Kim. We pivot now to earlier in the night as Finnegan and Luke ride with Miss Wayne to go meet with Baron Eric. So, as the car is driving towards Bellakin Wood, is there any conversation that you two would like to have, or any questions you would like to ask of Miss Wayne?
You're gonna be staying in the car, right, ma'am?
I always do.
Wonderful. All right. Uh, uh, Luke, you mentioned a little bit before you had a bit of a run-in with some of these. I've worked with some of them in the past, but I'm not really political.
A few run-ins, to be more precise.
Right.
Not sure how well this will go.
Right. And he like swaps over to Welsh, and he was just like, "You think we should maybe start with this then, since we're going to Vatican and all of that?"
If they speak the tongue, then would hope so. Then yes, that makes sense. He would also switch to the Camry.
Right. And he just starts going over like different Welsh tongue twisters to try and get his head back into it.
Oh, and because I posted it in my private chat, but I didn't. The button that he is wearing on his kind of jacket is a replica of essentially a seal from the last great Welsh rebellion before the English completely annexed them. So
You would both hear from the driver's seat in pitch perfect Welsh. If you're going to pick a language to talk about something in secret, best not pick the one that the prince speaks frequently.
I was trying to keep secrets. I wouldn't be speaking them.
No, the prince speaks nearly all the tongues that I do, at the very least. So, and anything that I have to say, I say straight to the prince. That's kind of.
You get the sensation that Miss Wayne is like, yeah, you tried, but not good enough.
Just kind of.
Honestly, you're just not worth lying to.
Hey, the lad has a point. But all right. Game time. Emissaries. Peace talks. You are kind of know a little bit. All right, we're gonna figure this out. Right.
Known.
For reassurance.
Known is a word, yes. Probably more mild than I would imagine. I would imagine the reception that I get if Merrick knows who I am will be entertaining, perhaps.
Oh, well, good. Maybe that could. I was always taught to go into things with high hopes and low expectations.
No.
The other way around? I don't think so. All right. Should be fine. I'm not, as I said, I'm not political, so they can't mock me. Or they can't knock me for being siding with the prince necessarily.
True. Well, they can. They are anarchs. You've sided with a prince.
I fought for. Well, I didn't make no vows though.
True. And none that are binding in that way. Though,
But you did.
fair.
In a certain roundabout way.
There was that whole pesky coterie oath.
The Coterie oath, yeah. There were some alterations that were made.
I will remind those keeping score at home that the coterie oath said nothing about allegiance to the Camarilla. The coterie oath was specifically about allegiance to each other, the prince, and the city.
Right. Game time.
So, as you approach the building that you'll be meeting with Baron Merrick in, you find yourself in front of a rather unassuming brick building that looks to contain a tattoo shop, maybe some apartments above. Pelicanwood very much has a small town feel. Finnegan, this would be very reminiscent of Willow Grove, where you were all based during the, well, we like to call it a war, but let's call it what it was, the coup.
The uprising.
That's right. It was a rising, wasn't it? But you find yourselves exiting the vehicle and standing in front of this brick building that contains a tattoo parlor.
Right? I don't be expecting much of a welcome party. I'm not seeing like lookouts, guards, anything like that on the outside.
Nope, there doesn't seem to be. But do either of you have kindred iconography?
No.
Don't believe so. No. He wouldn't be
Okay.
wearing anything.
Okay. No, I mean specifically like the kindred iconography lore sheet.
Oh, no.
Okay. So there's nothing on the outside of this building that jumps out to you. As you enter the building, Baron Merrick, what would our duo see?
This duo would see that, yes, this tattoo parlor looking thing. However, Baron Merrick would have turned it more into an underground like art gallery type thing to match his aesthetic. So they would walk in and notice that it's fairly open. You know, he kept some of the like tattoo shop like items, instruments like around. But they would see a lot of Merrick's own artwork. Very gothic, macabre statues and paintings set up around. Not really many people nearby, but they would see Baron Merrick standing in a back corner. He's wearing a skirt with a high slit and a garter belt on his thigh. He's wearing a chain harness on top with wrapped up bandages on one arm, a chain on a hand with a beaded bracelet. And he's just sort of ambling about, looking at his work, answering questions as needed.
And kind of has Shaleda under one arm, like a pot of roses. They're just looking around and like sees Merrick just a little bit confused just by
Everything.
By the all of it?
You just gestured to all of me. Yes.
It turns out
he's old fashioned. All of this is just like, hey, but he's like holding on to the rose plant, just being like, comfort.
I I would assume at some point Merrick would turn because hear the door open and would see you two. He would take one look at the roses, and his eyes would squint, and he'd frown. Set those outside before coming in, please.
Right. Kind of says under his breath, just like, I knew the roses were a bad fucking idea.
Ghoul is trying to get us killed.
Mr. Carrie, I'm coming for you. Finnegan will remember this.
Ghoul's gonna lose kneecap privileges.
And Finnegan will swap the camera and just say, greetings.
Merrick would immediately start speaking in Welsh. Ah. Greetings to you as well. What can I do you for?
We has a meeting.
Ah, yes, we do. Please come. And he's only speaking to Finnegan right now.
That is completely valid.
Maybe he doesn't see it. Yeah, maybe he just doesn't notice it yet.
Ignoring me is better than actively trying to fight me, so.
Yes, we'll take it.
He's going to gesture that, Finnegan, come, follow him, but assume Luke will follow as well. And he's going to take you to a back office, at the furthest back office of the building.
How crowded is the art gallery kind of portion?
Well, it is more of an underground kind of scene, so not very crowded, but but there's still probably a couple tying around.
Good. And just as a reminder and for funds, you wanted the plants outside. Is me dog okay? And beside him is him-sized Irish wolfhound.
Is he house trained?
Oh, aye, he's well polite.
Well, then he's fine.
Yeah, grand.
I actually might have a treat for him somewhere around here.
Kind of looks down to Tay, just gives a nod, but goes down to pet him and just don't you accept a thing from this household, okay? For your benefit, bud. For your benefit.
But
No,
treats.
he does weird things with meat, I've heard. I don't want you getting sick.
Well, you do weird things with meat.
Listen to your father. And just goes off after Merrick.
The office that Merrick takes you into is not a large. Actually, it's a pretty sizable office. But inside is a couple of Merrick's own personal artwork pieces that he enjoys. A couple of marble statues of very scared-looking individuals with tails wrapped around them in various ways. But up at the back wall is a chair that looks somewhat like a throne. And is it made of bone? I can't tell. Is it made of bone? I don't know. There's no other chairs there except for that one.
You know what? For those that have the skill and would like to, you can give me an intelligence and medicine check.
No,
but that's not where those dots are. Medicine is for living people. We don't like those.
What's Tay's intelligence and medicine, do you think?
His medicine would match yours.
All right, 0. But is he smart? I'm kidding.
The dog, however, seems to be looking at the particular bone sculpture, just almost salivating.
Don't, buddy, don't. And Finn just kind of has his arm and just wrapped around his head a little bit, just leaning him against him a little bit, just no, it's okay. I know, I see it too. Don't.
But
Merrick is gonna go sit down, and he'll actually like just sort of casually pull off a piece of the chair and throw it across the room.
Bud, don't do it.
go ahead and give me a charisma and animal ken, please.
All right. Dice, but there you are. Head bear. Head bear. Tay is such a good boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Tay just takes a seat. He hasn't taken his eyes off the bone, but he has taken a seat beside you.
Give him a couple of good pats.
Hmm.
Well trained, as I said. Very polite.
More polite to accept a gift that you're given, but each their own. So, and he has casually, like, he's not sitting in the chair. He has sprawled his legs up over the arm, and he's leaning back. He's, like the skirt has fallen off his leg.
Fall just.
He's just like very casual. Yes, he's very sitting gay.
Oh boy.
And he's just going to start in. So, what is this meeting for? He still has not looked at Luke.
We are wanting to, and assuming that this is all in Welsh, establish contact with yous and settle some peace terms, long lastings, and possibly settle in for future trades, if that's something to interest of yous.
You want to make nice?
Aye, preferably. We're on the tail end of a war, and we'd rather not start another.
Yes, I've heard about your little war. Sounds like it was quite the harrowing event. Did you all fight in it?
I did. There were a few of us back in the city who stick around. Aye.
You did, and this will be the first time he actually addresses Luke. You didn't?
In this war, no. It's not here for this one.
You're probably too busy making your own wars. Well, trade, allegiance, all that. What exactly it is that you want from me in that regard?
Neutrality, peace, assurance that what stays yours is yours and what stays ours is ours. Boundaries and such. You and I both, our old country folk, are well established with boundaries and wanting to keep to our own. So I think that's something that we can come together on.
Sure, perhaps you and I, yes, but is that really what all of your city wants? I've heard this song before.
Aye. And Sexton is a bit different, I will kind of admit. I don't like working a lot with the blue bloods or with royalty or none of it. Just kind of makes me spine tingle a little bit. But
Does he know that?
oh aye. He knows I have a history.
And yet
He
you
knows.
stayed, and yet you fought. Interesting.
I did see, but here's the thing, though. I didn't fight just for him. I fought for the city. I fought for those that I found, and I stay for those that I found. We protect what's ours, aye?
That I can understand.
But just mutual relations. And possibly there might be someone. Kind of looks to Luke and just like, for advice, for teaching.
Teaching.
As who? Hey,
What are you so nervous for?
Ireland is an island of scholars and saints, and as the great Liam Neeson once said, we have someone who has a particular set of skills and talents, who that shares yours and yours families.
Merrick's gonna sit up. Like, as Finn has sort of been stuttering, he's like sat up in his chair and got his hand on an elbow on the knee, hand on his chin, just kind of waiting to see what everything he's about to say. Don't be so nervous. Don't be so nervous.
You're on a bone throne and you're casual about it, and I can see your crotch. So,
does it displease you?
No, it don't. No, it's just there, and I have to accept it.
My apologies, and he'll just sort of cross his legs and get all dainty like I did.
No, I'm in your domain. I wasn't right expected. Oh, it's hot in here. But the bone throne's just a lot.
Seems flustered.
I'm not good at talking, so here we are. But
Merrick will stand up. The skirt will just cover everything again.
Right. We got someone who might want to learn some flesh crafting, I think is what they said it was.
The smile drops from Merrick. I assume someone who is not a dragon.
That's a bit complicated.
Oh, complicated.
They've never claimed the title.
I don't write. It's complicated.
Speak plainly.
There are things.
Finnegan, if you're going to dance around it, I'm going to make you roll for it.
Sure.
So I would like a manipulation and subterfuge, please.
Hey.
And yes, Baron Merrick, you are free to insight check that as much as you please.
I'm not going to blood surge then.
Let's see. With an insight?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, Alicia gave us permission to ask for this. I don't know why I'm being yelled at.
Because Finnegan's a stuttering mess right now.
Yes. And to be fair, like the last time that he was on a diplomatic mission with War, Marana, he had Talia to help him out with that.
Hey, Finnegan had 2 dice for that pool? That's twice what I would have had.
Hey!
Yeah, Merrick, you could tell that he's dancing around something. He's hiding something.
My good man. Let's start over. Let's start over. And he's gonna just casually walk over. Come. You are here to be of an allegiance, right?
Say that last part again. I didn't hear it right.
We're here to form an allegiance of some sort, right?
Allegiance is a big word.
Allyship.
Establishing connections, some mutual respect and boundaries and such.
Yes. Oh, yes, mutual respect. And he's going to very purposefully look at you. Then perhaps you start by stop lying to me.
Right.
Show respect for my domain. Do not lie. Now, he's going to walk back over to his chair and sit down. What do you want?
Neutrality, information sharing, and openness between us. And if possible, and you're open to it, teaching one of our own rather high up and who's already skilled but has reached the limits of their capacity.
Who is this person that I would be teaching? Are they a dragon or are they not?
They're familiar to you from down south.
There were no other dragons down south, so.
See, and yeah, that's where it kind of gets a wee bit complicated and stuff. And
Finnegan.
I don't know the answer. I really don't. They have abilities like you and yours, but I also know them as something else.
Finnegan, you know Alicia is a Nosferatu.
Mhm.
You also know that she has the ability to fleshcraft. So I am going to ask you to make a charisma and etiquette roll, please.
That one I will try to blood search if I can.
I'll allow it.
Hey.
Good.
Well.
Do you want to use a willpower?
Yeah.
Go ahead and use a willpower.
Well.
Hey, you know what?
Okay,
It's
one
better.
more.
It's better than what you rolled. It would occur to you that the Baron has said several times to speak plainly and relax and not lie to him.
She's not of your family. She gained it through some other means.
Who? I know her?
Hey. You said that you worked together down south.
Name.
It's kind. There it is.
Alicia.
A soft smile will go across Merrick's face. Alicia. I owe her an art trade.
I could let her know.
How the hell did she learn? What the fuck happened here?
I would hope that one of your great respect and apparent power, and especially one from both Wales and your family, you know how bloody war can get.
Yes.
And Finnegan kind of gets a seriousness of like a soldier. And it got bloody.
Ah, I see. So, you want me to tutor someone in the ways of my family who are not in my family?
We want
That's
to set
quite a big ask.
up a conversation between you twos.
Mm.
See if you're open to it.
Such a big ask would require quite a payment.
And that's also why we're here, to figure out what kind of payment that might be.
I'm gonna ponder for a moment. He's going to reach under the chair, and he's gonna pull out a cigar box. Very kind of a typical cigar box, nothing out of the ordinary with it. Open it up. He's going to pull out a vial. Just a small vial. It looks like there are ashes inside of it. I remember getting this one. One of my favorite people offered it to me. The Ravnos are quite crafty. Set it back in the box. Pulls out another one. Malkavians, they're clever. People don't give them enough credit, really. Puts it in the box. Pulls out another Nosferatu. So intelligent. Just much like your Alicia. One of my favorites, honestly. Puts it back in. And then he takes his hand and he pulls out another vial and a finger. Toreador, my rose. Of all of them, my favorite. Puts them back in the box and closes it. And yet, drums his fingers on the box. My collection is so incomplete. I know why you're scared of me. I know why everyone's nervous around me. And I don't mind that one bit. If you want me to be a tutor in the ways of my kind, I'm going to need your help in getting pieces for this collection. Tell me, what clans are you of? What clans are your coterie of?
I'm pretty obvious. I'm Gangrel.
Ah, Gecko. Very strong clan. Would Merrick know Luke's clan?
That depends. Luke, have you been open about what clan you are from or what you are?
No. Things that Luke has done openly are wear some Banu Akeem signature items, the ring mostly, which looks like something like that, and um, abilities that he displays are celerity and oblivion things. So he never really speaks about what he is, but there are assumptions that can be made.
So, Merrick, I am going to ask you for a resolve and insight.
Okie dokie.
Whatever he did in his past to cause the reputation he has would probably have stories of some sort.
Is it alright
There,
if I blood search?
you may. There would be a reputation more concerned with being a blood leech than uh necessarily what clan exactly he hails from. 3, you get. Oh, okay, we're
I think
gonna.
I was gonna go ahead and
Yeah, no, go for it. I see what you're doing. Well, uh, you are absolutely aware that this man has a reputation as being a leech, even among our kind. Uh, you would also be aware that from the looks of things, he is a Banu Hakim with some extra abilities thrown into the mix. Um, the stories you have heard, he doesn't necessarily truck in the blood sorcery that his clan is typically known for, but he does seem to be far more in touch with Oblivion than folks would normally be for that clan. But for all intents and purposes, this man is a Banu Hakim, and he is a noted blood leech.
Okay. And you? Well, your reputation precedes you, doesn't it?
There is no helping that, yes.
Oh, you could have helped that. You chose not to.
We are what we are.
Mm. What about the rest of your coterie?
Um, well, how do you feel your collections exactly? Out
How
of
do
curiosity,
I fill it?
I suppose.
Do you think I kill people?
No, I saw a finger in one of them. So
Yes,
there's
that was given willingly.
aye.
It grew back.
Well,
I didn't make it so it couldn't grow back.
right.
Unless there's something that you would like to not grow back.
I'm just confused by the. Anyways, um,
Here,
no.
let me speak plainly. I asked that of you. I'll do the same in turn. You want me to you want me to teach. You want me to tutor in the ways of my clan for someone who is not of it. High payment offered. I would like a piece of each of you that I do not have in my collection. And a piece from someone not in your coterie that is not in my collection either. That
We
is what I ask for in order to be this teacher.
we understand the high price tag, and thank you for your gracious offers. We'll make sure to return and let our benefactors know about what it would cost.
Now, I am not so stringent. I'm a reasonable man. You all can choose what the piece is. Except you. Looking at Luke. I want your fangs.
Ooh, an interesting ask.
I know that your coterie isn't all here. Alicia's not even here either. I'm sure you'll need to go and speak with everyone else.
And it's just because wording is important with the Celtic folk. You just want a piece, just any kind of piece of us.
Preferably flesh-based. I'll take whatever, but
Mm.
now, I assume you're going to need to know which clans I'm speaking of.
Eh,
Or would you prefer to wait until everyone agrees?
You have Ravnos, Malkavian, Nosferatu, and Toreador.
And Bruja.
And Bruja. But that's the rest of it.
That is all.
And if we can fill the rest of the collection, that's what you're wanting it.
Not all of it. Not all of it.
What's available to us, I suppose.
And one outside of what's available to you.
Aye.
Your choice.
Need to double check something. You know, I don't think Finn would necessarily be smart enough. And so he says, well, as a parting gift, and kind of takes out his dirk, cuts off a bit of his hair.
The man did say flesh-based, but we'll leave that up to the Baron.
He'll take it. Say, well, that is much appreciated.
For good faith and favor.
He'll put it in his little cigar box. Close it. Oh, you also don't have to worry about thin blood, as he caresses the chair.
Got it. No.
So that brings us back to Luke. You have been told that what the Baron wants from you is your fangs. Now, you know, as a kindred, these things typically heal right back up with a bit of work. But are you going to pay this price that the Baron has asked of you?
And the deal that was put forward by the Baron, this is a clarification for Luke thing, is for the teaching of Alicia is a piece of each of us.
That he doesn't have.
But that's what's on the table. That is the full extent of the deal, right? Not anything to do with peace between the princedom and this barony. No, it's just for the teaching of Alicia, right?
That's all he's said so far.
Okay.
You're welcome to clarify.
Oh, yes.
Luke would be fairly familiar with stories of the fair folk and how unambiguous deals never benefit the one accepting the bargain.
Right. As clarification, your offer is a piece of this coterie for teaching, correct?
Yes, that is what I said.
No.
No. Then I suppose we're done here. Merrick will gesture for you to leave.
Is there any a changing of prices for things?
I have said my price, and it has been refused. So,
Right. Just kind of just looking to Luke.
There are deals you do not make.
Fair.
Get out.
Uh,
Luke will turn to leave.
Aye, Baron, thank you for your hospitalities. We will continue to, and as he's saying this as he's leaving, continue to respect mutual borders and neutrality.
As you all exit the art gallery, you find the SUV with Miss Wayne inside, waiting outside for you. Are you going to immediately clamber back into the SUV? You are outside on the sidewalk.
Could Finnegan make some kind of roll to just remember as much of the like layout and architecture and like structure of the building as he could?
I mean, you'd be able to Google map it.
Great.
Like, this is like your standard suburban brick building.
Great. And he just kind of keeps an eye and looks out for everything as he's kind of running back in. And just quiet.
So you find yourselves back in the SUV, and Miss Wayne gives you that ever-present smile. So how did it go?
Real good. Real good. Real good.
About as well as I thought it would.
We didn't get into a scrap, so there's that. and Tay, you did good, buddy. You did good. And he like takes out some like bacon bits from his from his like little fanny pack and gives them to him. But yeah, we need to go back. We have some terms to set, and some of them might not be accepted or acceptable.
I think they've been. Do not know if that offer is still on the table.
But you said that he has me hair, and I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do with it. Like, it's not flesh, so at least there's that. But I
Won't
don't
last long. Hair doesn't last.
Right. So, let's just get back and talk with Alicia and the rest of them, and we can figure this out. Good on you. Standing your ground.
The both of you can see through the rearview mirror Miss Wayne's expression drop a little bit. She fires off a text, sets the phone down, and the car glides back off into the Philadelphia night. Now, is there anything you two would like to discuss on the car ride back to the Coterie Haven?
Oh boy. Nah. Then we'll kind of just give a silent appreciation to Luke. Kind of like a we might not have fulfilled the mission kind of thing, but Finnegan definitely gained a bit of respect for Luke after that whole show.
We walked into the literal Dragon's Den and walked out again. That is a success of its own.
That one was weird, different. He does have a power to him, so something not to be underestimated, but I hope that we can live in peace. But if that's the price that he's asking for, that would be three of us, plus your Fang, plus someone else.
Fangs.
Oh no, Fangs.
Fangza.
Mm-hmm.
Then Finnegan absolutely is just like, no, you did the right fucking thing. I thought he was just asking you for one of them.
Well, understandable. You take the sword from the person you fear it, so I understand the ask. But some monsters do not get the deal.
No, No. And that's not something you ask. No. I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you more than.
Oh no, that is as Alicia said, this was a decision all of us would have to make. We knew some of what that price would be.
And he kind of gives Luke a little bit of a wicked grin. He's like, I've been itching for a scrap anyways.
If it comes to it, it will not be the first time. There's a reason that my reputation preceded myself with the Anarchs.
We'll have to chat. Have to tell me about their fighting tactics and everything. What you did. Well, not necessarily specifics on what you did, but just... This is our city. Can't let some muckabout dragon coming around claiming territory and wanting pieces of us. I'll give him a piece of me mind. That's for damn sure.
Yes, we'll send off the scavengers, and we will keep what we apparently you fought and bled for. I have not yet, but
We will.
I'm
Hope
sure
not.
it will come to that.
It always does.
Blood
It always
will.
does.
So, real quick before we bring the rest of the players back in, Finnegan,
Aye.
you are getting a gift for this session.
Great.
You now have the flaw, Suspect Anarchs.
Hey. A gift.
Hey, it's better than mine.
I'll have to look into that. How fun. How joyous. Thank you, ST, for this joyous and wonderful gift.
You're welcome.
Since it's a gift, can I give it back?
No, I'm sorry. You don't have a gift receipt.
Got it.
So, we are going to rejoin the rest of the coterie at Powell House. So I'm going to bring them all back in.
Hey, gang. We did great.
So
I'm not mad.
Oh,
you
boy.
It wouldn't have gone better if we'd gone the other way, because the same would have happened with Kim, but there would have just been an actual fight. So
It was like at the end, Kim was just like, "Oh yeah, we like Gangrel." I'm just like, "Damn it!"
So you find yourselves back at Powell House, regathered in the meeting room. Only this time, instead of the cotton candy cloud that is your shadow,
Oh, good.
there stands the imposing form of your prince.
Oh, good.
Mr. Carey and Miss Wayne enter in behind you.
Then swiftly
And
walk out.
Mr. Carey gives a big thumbs up to the prince. And he will look at the two, the ghoul and the retainer. He will offer a pained smile. And he will say, Harold, Penelope, please enjoy the remainder of your evenings. And with that, the two, arm in arm, leave the room. The prince leans forward on the table, looks around at each of you. So, who would like to start? Very well. Mix Leclerc, if you would not mind giving me a report.
Yes, Your Grace. We were able to make it to Baron Kim's territory without any incident. Upon entering, we parlayed. There was a bit of verbal scuffling. However, we were able to secure neutrality in terms she wishes to send an emissary, be able to meet with someone at least once a month to understand what is going on. I believe kind of same rules down south apply with the emissary, them being allowed to come to Elysiums and whatnot. And she also graciously provided us information about mess that was left behind by the former management, a den of whites underground somewhere in the city that have been spilling over into her territory.
So the rumors are true. Very well. I will personally send word to Baron Kim that we will clean this mess, not just as a show of good faith, but a show of taking responsibility for what is ours. After all, this is our city now. Its problems are our problems. I'll also let her know I will eagerly await word on who she chooses as emissary. Thank you very much, Mix Leclerc.
Of course, Your Grace.
Yes, Dante.
Just a little bit at the end when we were leaving. Apparently, our driver, Mr. Carey, had a run-in with an Akuma acolyte right outside of her domain.
That does not bode well, but it is another mess that we shall endeavor to clean. I'll speak more with Mr. Carey and see if I can't find the particulars of his encounter.
He did say he waved the shotgun around, but give him a look over. It was probably a little more than that.
And Nero quite brilliantly suggested that we give Miss Kim this intel, being that it was outside of her domain, as a sign of good faith. So
I do appreciate that, and it's exactly what I would have done. I would expect problems in my domain to be reported to me immediately. That was a wise choice. Do you think peace with this Baron Kim is possible?
She seems amenable to the idea, so long as we mind our P's and Q's in the borderlines.
I shall make sure that our property lines are clearly defined, and those of my domain do not wander. Now, and he looks over at Finnegan and Luke. Your meeting with Baron Merrick? I trust it went well. I have been looking forward to speaking with him in the common tongue.
Hey, seems to be rather fluent. Our meeting was a little less cordial. We offered terms of neutral borders and respect, and couldn't even get to a conversation of emissaries when the conversation of teaching was brought up. Baron Merrick was asking a price that was rather high just to teach and to continue to teach.
And what price was that?
Merrick seems to have a bit of a collection.
I'm aware. I had reports from down in Florida.
He was wanting a piece of each of us from the Coterie, not within his collection. as well as Mr. Mallory's fangs.
I can understand hesitation when it comes to one's fangs. Mr. Mallory, I can't say that I would have acquiesced to that particular request. As for a piece of us, and John reaches down and pulls one of the gloves off of his hand. You can see his hands are twisted and scarred, burned with this kind of pink gold scar tissue from the tip of his finger to his wrist, where the sleeve begins to cover. It looks as though it may travel further up his arm. And with his free hand, he takes a knife from his belt, places his hand on the table, and removes his index finger. As it ashes, he tosses it towards the middle of the table. Parts of us are of no concern.
I understand that, Sarah. It's primarily given it to a flesh crafter. I would be, in the same way, hesitant, and then kind of looks back to both Cyrene and Zero, and she's like, to give my blood willingly and freely without knowing what it was for. And with this Baron, he had a throne of caitiff bones, Sarah.
A throne that was at one
Thin
point
blood,
a person.
thin blood bones.
Was one of the Duskborn, apparently. And his collection was not just ash. This dragon seems to be able to preserve the parts it takes.
There are methods to preserve parts of us. I know several individuals who traffic in blood sorcery that are exceedingly familiar with an old preservation technique. And he tugs his glove back on Sand's finger. Perhaps diplomacy was too big of an ask for some of you. But we are no longer at war. Now we begin the patient labor of peace. And Mr. Mallory, I do understand your unwillingness to part with that particular portion of your anatomy. But for God's sake, he holds up his hand, the index finger of the glove flopping. Flesh is simply meat that can be given freely. We have fought and bled for this city once. It should be of no consequence to bleed for it again. And that is why I am willing to bleed for this city. And he gestures to the small pile of ash in the center of the table where the finger fell.
My prince, would you like some of us to try again?
It may be best if I reach out to Baron Merrick directly. I'm certain Alicia and I can negotiate a peace. But we may have to look elsewhere for tutelage.
Yes, this
It
was
will
the
take
price.
It will take time.
If there is anything that I can do to help with the speakings of peace, I will gladly do it.
This is
Okay.
not your failure, Zero. This is mine.
We are a coterie, sir,
It's our failure because
much like our unit. You go ahead, Zero. You're going to say what I was going to say.
Oh, I was just going to say, you made us take an oath, my prince, to look out for each other as a coterie. Take responsibility for our coterie.
Which it would seem Finnegan and Luke fulfilled to the letter. They looked out for each other. My failure was in not anticipating what Baron Merrick would ask for when I sent you. And I do apologize for that.
Is more my past actions, I imagine, that no matter what deal I had brought to the table, Merrick would have found a way to force us to not accept it. Would have probably happened with any Baron. I do not have the best reputation with the movement, as it were.
He was in a skirt and it was throwing me off kilter, and I just couldn't think right.
What?
Mr. Omadra, I should show you some of the outfits I wore in Florida. They were downright scandalous. But that should not have put you off your game.
I'm old-fashioned, and I wasn't expecting like a BDSM dungeon kind of aspect, but it was like an office. It was. I just wasn't. I was expecting a tattoo shop, I suppose.
As you said, flesh is flesh. This was the weapon Merrick chose to use to fight that fight.
Pardons for being caught off guard, Sirrah.
From what Miss Wayne tells me, you did the best you could with what you had.
I think it was probably right not sending you Dante. He seemed adamant about fulfilling his collection, and if he was wanting something from your family before, I don't know. It's things to discuss. This was just the piece, or the price for teaching, so.
Well, he might want to reach out to Miss Kim. I think I left a piece of me on the floor back there.
By a dancer. Huh, eh.
A dancer
Ed.
who is skilled in the art of ballet.
All of you, give me a wits and insight, please.
Goody.
I love that when looking at a prince who's
Can I blood
hungry.
surge?
You may blood surge, yes.
Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Does emotional state come into this?
Yes,
Does paranoia come into this?
always.
Wits and insight, you said?
Wits and insight, yes.
Okay.
Great.
I don't want to know what he's thinking, so I'm not doing anything to give me more dice.
I hope you crit.
You know, I have 2 dice. Just don't say that.
Ha! Ha!
We got
Alright.
close with 3.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Are you spending a willpower?
Yeah, it's the end of the session. Where's that 10? We'll reroll that. I'm nervous to try and get more successes, though, because I might... What would that
I
be?
mean,
I have 3, but is that going to make her what I need to spend a willpower?
that'll make it. That'll
I have
make it.
4.
Zero's 2 checked out. He's
I'll take the 4. Oh my god, I wanted it so bad, but it was a messy.
Okay. For my 1. 0. Yep. That's the prince. And he does not seem very pleased.
Yep.
For For my 3, you've spent enough time with John. You can see past the immediate disappointment, but there is not anger like you would expect from a failed mission. No, there is something else. It's really kind of hard to gauge, though. For my 4s, the prince is upset. He's not mad, which is weird because Finnegan, you've seen John mad. Dante, you have also seen John mad. You've seen John downright furious. And this is not that. You recognize that this is something akin to when Alicia was missing. There is this worry for someone that he cares about, for someone that he has promised to protect. You can tell that his disappointment is not in y'all. It is in himself. And there is a deep worry about someone.
Sir, you know, some of us have already paid cost for this city. And some of us know what it's like to continue to pay that cost. If this would be something that would greatly improve the capabilities of the Seneschal, perhaps that is something that can be discussed then. I'm not so sure about the fangs. Perhaps we could get Merrick to talk down to it.
Finnegan, I also can't give anything.
Then perhaps an oracle can.
No,
Alicia
Zero, you
has been
wouldn't
my
have
friend
to.
for...
Zero, you wouldn't have to. You are Tremere. If Cyrene gave, then they only want one from each clan they don't already have.
And they have Ravnos, Malkavian, Nosferatu, Bruja, and Toreador. And so from our coterie, we would need someone, Gangrel, Tremere, and something from Lysandra. Perhaps we could discuss with Merrick the cost for fangs coming down a bit. And then, well, and he kind of Finnegan pulls out a little piece of paper and scoops up the ashes and folds it over. And just
Serene hands over a vial.
There we go. That would help a lot better. Thank you so much. And this is technically fulfilling the other part, Sarah. If you're wanting to give your essence to the dragon.
It is a small price to pay for the security of this city, for the safety of the people I have vowed to protect.
Did they say that they wanted a piece from each of us or each of the clans we represent? The wording is important.
Each of the clans.
Each of the clans that they do not already have.
Specifically in our coterie.
Within the coterie, and then 1 + 1 extra.
Dante walks over to Finnegan, pulls his hair back, takes his ear and cuts it off and hands it to him.
Oh, big shade. Cyrene, how many vials do you have?
As Dante hands off the ear to you, it turns to ash in your hand.
Cyrene's a Tremere. She carries a Michael's craft section worth of vials.
Wonderful.
It's
wonderful.
I would imagine, just from the short time that I spoke with American interacted, that they might take some pleasure in gathering their own pieces. So this might not be acceptable to them. Also, unless they are skilled in the blood sorcery, that's just ash. You cannot prove whose it is.
That that's the problem. There is if he does have that
Right.
ability. Yes.
So he would probably want them taken in person, I would imagine.
It's more of a gesture, I believe.
I get that.
So, Dante, I would like you to take 1 superficial damage for cutting off your ear.
My prince, do you have a way to contact him to say that we are more than willing to renegotiate, and we are? Yeah, I don't know how to properly word
There
it.
are there are many different means at my disposal of finding avenues of communication with Baron Merrick. I will reach out, but as I said, it will take time. And should I need to again, well, I still have 9 more.
Finnegan goes ahead, puts his hand on the table, and takes out his dirk and cuts off one of the fingers.
1 superficial damage.
And now he has 3. At least of goodwill to show that we are willing to work.
He knows of my abilities with what happened down south. That should be enough vouch that I'll give when is asked.
Very well. I will talk to Alicia. Perhaps you, the 2 of you, can reach out, form a more meaningful bridge between our 2 domains.
I want to maybe chat with Miss Alicia after this.
I'm sure that can be arranged. She's likely not very busy at the moment, but if I know her well enough worrying about me.
They did mention an art exchange with Alicia as well. So.
Excellent. That will be something good to lead with when we reach out. I have matters of state to tend to this evening. If there is nothing else, I do thank you all for your work.
Of course, my prince. Anything that we can do to help.
By your leave, Sarah.
That's me good to see you, sir.
And you, all of you. I am glad each of you came back in one piece. And for your sakes, Mr. Mallory, Mr. Omadra, that you came back in separate pieces.
No, he sends crawlies up me spine. I don't know about that one, Sarah. I really don't.
He weaponizes the uncomfortability, from what it sounds like.
Yes.
Perhaps,
Go ahead.
perhaps you all should take the remainder of the evening to formulate a better strategy. If you'll excuse me. And he gives a nod to each of you in polite deference and exits the Powell house, walking off into the night, leaving the five of you now alone inside of Powell House. But real quick, Cyrene, wits and awareness, please.
Oh no.
Okay. That's not too. Okay, cool. I don't think my death specialty is going to come into play, does it?
No.
Okay. Well, that's still 6 with the Maryland lore sheet. So, give me 1 second for the box of doom to load.
Box of Doom.
This ad break brought to you by Zenitsi, gender affirming flesh care for all since the 10,000s.
Look, we should all just be happy that we stayed on the I keep what's
You're-
mine thing and didn't trample into the other convictions that Luke has. Because there's that second one that, well, I don't want to start more wars.
Cyrene, you could have just swore that out of the corner of your eye you saw the large stone angel in the courtyard of Powell House turn its head and look at you. Or maybe it was always looking in this direction. I mean, after all, it's a stone statue, and statues don't move.
Hey,
Well-
old storyteller.
Yes.
Can Cyrene start moving closer?
To the statue?
Yeah.
I mean, you can walk up as far as the window.
Okay.
You would have to exit the house to get closer.
She's gonna frown. Alright, I don't know if it's a trick, but that statue looked at me and points to the gargoyles, one that is now facing the window.
It's less like a gargoyle, but more like the kind of stone angel that you would see in a cemetery.
Oh,
with
you
its
were
head-
no, do not bring
with
the
its-
weeping angels.
Oh, good.
with its head
we're
turned
not.
towards
We're
the
just bringing a
dining
stone.
room.
An earth-born Koldunic sorcerer is what we're dealing with. That's not gargoyle. That's someone looking at us through earth.
Great.
Uh,
You want me to go bash it? I've been really needing to hit something all day long.
How about this? We go out, I look at it with the spoopy peepers before we, go smashing anything and potentially unleashing something.
All right.
At the
All of
worst,
us are
you'll-
going out. All right.
Or
Yeah,
you
At the
can
worst, if you start smashing things here, you'll have to deal with Mr. Carey talking to you.
You can
Or-
stay
put it that way.
0.
No, I'm joining. I just didn't know if
We can
Let's
get
check
you a
it out.
steps. We can get you a steps tool.
a what?
It's a box. You step on.
Or a booster
I'm very fucking aware what a step stool is. I'm not a child, Dante.
All
Well, you
right,
asked the
gentlemen.
question.
Ooh,
key. Hit a nerve.
getting a little bass in his voice. All right. I like it. So we're all going out to the courtyard
Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
to take a look at this stone angel statue.
Uh-huh.
let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Finnegan's keeping an eye out.
Resolve
can I do to
occult
look at
plus
this?
sense the unseen.
Resolve occult plus sense the unseen.
Resolve occult plus
Okay.
descendant of Goratrix.
Just walk up and poke it.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what Dante's doing with his staff.
Resolve occult, but not the descendant of Goratrix lore sheet.
Okay. Random weird question. I highly doubt it's going to affect. Does the specialty apply for my occult?
No,
Didn't think so. Okay.
not that specialty. No,
Can I rouse? Like, can I blood surge?
I take it.
you can.
Can I give a good look
Oh.
around?
Resolve.
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a resolve and awareness to look around.
Luke is. I wasn't kidding when Luke is just walking up and laying a hand on the statue.
You feel the cold, smooth marble of the statue beneath your hand.
And spirit's touch.
I'm crit
Spirit's
fishing.
touch. Okay. Bear with me one moment. Oh boy. Okay, everybody's getting hungry tonight.
Okay. 5 successes, I guess.
Let's see.
So,
Does paranoia come into play? Sorry.
yes,
Cheers.
I will let you have your paranoia for this one.
I almost forgot. Hey, I'll take it.
It is. This night is like any other. It is cooler. There's not a lot of folks walking the street in this part of town. It's quiet uptown. The statue itself is remarkable craftsmanship. The hair looks like hair. The eyes look like eyes. The detail is immaculate in this stone carving. It almost, to your eye, it looks like in the old stories when Medusa would turn people to stone. It looks a lot like that. It is uncanny how correct this statue looks. The dress that it wears, you can see the form of the flesh beneath it, as though the artist truly understood both anatomy and how fabric hangs off of the human form. Now, Luke, I just need to pull up the Box of Doom.
I haven't rolled yet. So.
Okay, so roll for your Spirit's Touch.
All right.
And
the listing on the Magar doc doesn't say a rouse check, but I'm guessing it takes one because it's not a level 1 power.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to reroll some of them. We're going to re-roll those. Apparently 3 successes is what we're getting.
Okay. So, let's see here. We've got 3 successes. One was a 10. Okay. You get what seems to be this sensation, a flashes of what can best be described as memory. there is a man, a small town. There is a gargoyle. Not Q. You've met him. No, this is a different one. Saving what appears to be saving this woman from some sort of cellar. And then you feel a bite, painful, stinging. And then you see the courtyard of Powell House as though from the point of view of the statue. Serene, 0. You don't see any kind of blood magic, anything like that. This is, to your eye, this is a statue. A very well-carved statue, but this is a statue.
With my 5 successes, because I would think 0 probably knows a little bit like about how certain abilities can make a kindred look like stone or force to turn to stone or something like that. Is there anything like that that's happening here, whether that be through unnatural means, forced abilities being used? I'm asking, was this once a person?
You would need a different role for that.
What role?
Let me just double check here.
Okay.
In the memories I got, did I get any hint of language?
No. None of the memories you got had any. No one was speaking in any of the memories that you had seen.
Then it would just be in English that he says, "You are welcome here for now."
But 0, it would need to be an intelligence and occult. No, I'm sorry. Yes, an intelligence and occult to see if you can recall any of these stories from what you had researched.
Okay. Intelligence occult. Guessing no specialty with the occult. Any lore sheet or no?
You know what? I will let you have your lore sheet on this one.
Okay.
Because by virtue of having that lore sheet would probably give you more information than not, regardless of difficulty.
Okay. 8, and then
Hearing Luke welcome it, she's gonna look over to him. It's a. They're where?
Not sure, but being polite for the moment. Can't wait.
This is fair.
There is memory there. Whether they are it or someone else's, I'm not sure yet.
Oh. 0, you can fix that. That is still fixable.
Don't do it.
yeah, it's the end of the session. I'm with Coterie. I'm safe.
Oh god,
Where's
you're
she
gonna kill us all.
Keep that energy. So you managed
buddy.
to meet the difficulty, but you managed to just meet the difficulty. You have heard stories, tales, really, that there have been offshoots, mutations of gargoyles that seem almost locked in place, suspended in time. But that is all you know.
Do I know what clan combo it would be? Or
Nope.
nah? Okay.
This is like a lost subset of gargoyle.
Mm-hmm. I think
How,
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
however, you are all welcome to give me another wits and awareness.
All of us?
All of you.
What's an awareness? Does my death specialty come into play or not?
Nope. Yep, that sure is a statue, Zero.
I figured I'd ask.
Also, your for your messy crit, Zero, you are going to go full on knowledge hungry, like
Oh,
worse than a Nosferatu. You got to know what's going on with this statue to the point where you're willing to spend the night, well, spend the day at Powell House so that you have time to study this statue.
okay. That is in direct opposition of what he was going to do. All right.
Roll messy crits.
Hmm.
Can I crit fish?
You're certainly welcome to.
I'm gonna keep the 2.
Okay.
Aw, boo. Nothing for me.
So, let's see here. Finnegan. You'd swear it. You just saw that statue's eyeballs move.
Immediately points the shillelagh just like at it.
Dante, you would also swear, you would put your life that you just saw those eyes move to look at y'all. Mr. Mallory, you know you just saw the eyes of the statue move. Zero, Cyrene, that is a statue. But Cyrene, you could have swore you saw some kind of movement out of the corner of your eye.
Okay. So you,
Then have
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh no, she's just watching everybody. Okay, so I didn't imagine what I thought I saw.
No,
Got
it
nothing.
is. It is.
The eyes moved.
They did.
Zero is kind of looking at it, and you watch as blood is running from his eyes. It's a gargoyle.
True. It is interesting.
Lowers the shillelagh.
No, it is for the moment been granted hospitality.
Hey.
It is different.
Okay.
It's a subsect of gargoyles that I need to do more research into.
Would you like to hear more about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he pulls out because he sees Zero and hands him his. He always has handkerchiefs because he's a shop guy.
Pleading, yes. Well, it seemed an embrace of sorts. And left them this way. Which is different than what I've heard of gargoyles in the past, that they're made from pieces, not embraced really, but this seemed more like that.
Huh.
So,
Mm.
not only are they tortured to be made, he's or she or they are being
She, originally.
she. Okay, she is being forced to stay in this spot as is. On top of all that,
Does what a gargoyle does. Watch over a place, provide protection. She has stood here for a long time. This is their home, or as much as one could say.
Did you see what embraced her? Was it another gargoyle? Or was it someone normal?
Another gargoyle. Different, not Q. Can I describe that other gargoyle?
You
At
could.
least the basics.
Yeah. It looked to be a winged gargoyle, punched, twisted, but larger than even Q. This seems to be perhaps some sort of more combat focused gargoyle. And that is the description that you would give to your coterie. There's also a picture in your player chat.
To the player chat.
Courtesy of our other ST Ryan.
Huh. That's not one that anyone has seen before, so yeah, he would describe the gargoyle as, a much more traditional demonic looking gargoyle, horns and wings and all that stuff. But this one, hey, no, it's a good picture. I like it.
And I will post the picture in Ancilla chat so that everybody can get a good look at what you're describing.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so that's what he's describing as who did the embrace.
Terrifying.
I might have to try
Right, gross.
to learn more about our new friend here, but
As long as they stay friendly, they'll
Yeah.
not become rubble, I suppose.
Yeah.
Kind of
If
gives them
nothing-
a final look before.
If nothing else, gargoyles are protective. That is what they were originally designed for, and in the statuary sense, and seems to be what her purpose is here. Perhaps learn more about them, and they will be friendly to us as well. Or our friendly Tremere might find a way to undo some of this, give them back some of their freedom.
Zero's got that look in his eye.
I imagine that
We can try.
being trapped like this cannot be pleasant.
don't
Well-
imagine so.
She'll look up at the statue. I can't guarantee if we'll find anything, but we can try. And I hope that's okay.
Guess
Do
I'll
you-
pack bond to this statue before I do with the ghoul.
Do you want like a shade over you, or like an umbrella or something?
There doesn't seem to be any response from the statue, no movement, nothing.
Are you asking this? Kind of looks back to Dante and just like reminiscent from the beginning of the session, just like, and they say we're the crazy.
I think at this point, Zero he doesn't really say much, and he just kind of takes the napkin or whatever was given to him. He just kind of quickly wipes his face and starts walking back into the house, not saying anything to anyone.
For clarification, it's like. Go ahead.
No.
Just for clarification, it's not like a torpor stuck in place, but literally limbs kind of fused where it is.
It looks like a statue. If this were a living
Okay.
being, they would be frozen in place.
Extremely
Gotcha.
detailed.
Okay.
You gonna be all right?
Better. I don't know with that one. I'll check on him, and I should go inside and start drafting up a message to our Primogen, letting him know what we've found. He might have some insights that Zero and I don't.
Good to do some research into this, especially with it being so close to home.
And they'll lean back and kind of whisper, like covering. We should probably get some blackout curtains by the window too, just to cover it, just because we don't know whose side it's on yet.
Good idea.
You see Dante's just looking, staring, almost as still as the statue, at the statue. And all he's thinking about is the friend he made in the basement with the Lego sets. And
Yep.
the humanity side of what she's been through. And he just walks back inside with Siren.
Okay. Dante, Finnegan, or Luke, Finnegan, you find yourselves now alone in the courtyard with the statue. 3 of your coterie mates have gone back inside. Will you be joining them?
I was going to go for a bit of a drive before heading out.
Okay.
But if it's the end of the night kind of thing.
It's the night is winding down.
We'll have to regroup, but did good today.
Yeah. We did as well as one could, I imagine. Luke is still looking towards the statue as he talks to Finn. But you'll see what secrets this house has, I guess, and try our best to keep it standing.
This house, this city. We'll just start walking out.
Yeah, and Luke will head back into the Coterie Chantry, or the Coterie house, at least for the moment, before heading back to his own place.
Okay. Is that so Finnegan's going to go out for a drive.
Nothing special. He's just heading out. He's going to let the researchers do research work. He's not a diplomat, and we saw what happened when he tries to be. He's not going to try and be a researcher too. So he's getting out of the way.
The researcher ain't researching right now. The researcher.
I mean, you did the best diplomating you could do when you took literally a war criminal into the person's house. Like, hey, look, my buddy here is a known murderer and effectively cannibal of your people. We'd like peace.
We'd like peace.
Hey, look, he's also carrying a sword. You know.
Most notably, a form of not peace.
We're good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing special. Finn just wasn't just like, I'm of no use at the coterie.
The other two would see Zero writing in his journal and trying to wipe his eyes.
Okay. So, Cyrene, it looks like it's just you and Zero in the Coterie Haven now.
Seeing that they're alone, Cyrian's going to set down the bag, take off the suit jacket, pull out a box of like handkerchiefs that she's crocheted and kind of just go over, squat, and put the handkerchiefs very carefully above the spot where Zero is writing and wait.
Ah, apologies. Lapse of judgment. Did good. You and Dante both really had showed yourself. I'm still new to the city, so I didn't have as much of information as you did with that whole thing.
Yeah, well, she caught me back-footed too.
And we have a protector outside of our coterie. I see winds all around.
You know, do I tell you what I do outside of here when I'm not working myself to death, as Alicia's put it at one point?
I mean, I figured that you're probably someone that people lay a lot of their emotional turmoil onto you because you refuse to do so for yourself.
Oh, we're getting loud with our coterie mates. Is that what's
I mean,
that's what we're doing?
That's, I'm usually compensated by insurance and it's called therapy, but sure, we'll call it that.
Well, I don't have any insurance, so no worries.
Yeah, it's on the prince's health care. You're kind of
How are you
stuck with all of us, so there's something going on.
He kind of looks around. Can you check to see if we're being listened to?
She'll get up and do the look around.
Wits and awareness, please.
Sure. Where's the dice roller? There we go. We'll just use this one. Bum, 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 bum. Today's ad break brought to you by the Colts of Philly. Join one and find eternal purpose. 2.
Nope. We love cult stuff.
Two with a bestial.
I don't know if that makes it or if I need to spend a willpower.
I would spend a willpower.
Okay. 4?
While there is no form of supernatural eavesdropping, you don't see any kind of spoopy business going on. There are no obfuscated nos. You do notice a rat scurry from the room, and the statue is now facing you.
So the statue is keyed in on us.
Like the statue
and one of
has
Alicia's little rat
completely.
union buddies.
Yes, the statue has completely moved a full 90 degrees and is now facing directly through the window of the dining hall.
Powell House has a basement, if I recall correctly, right? No windows, anything like that.
Correct.
Cool. She's like, come on. And we'll lead him down to the basement.
Oh, Tremere is taking him to the basement?
Mm.
Oh gosh, I realize how terrible. No! That's like the one place I can think of that doesn't have windows.
We're going. We're going.
I'm sorry. And she'll just she will let him, she'll go in first so he can shut the door behind and everything so he feels in control of the situation. Best place I figured that didn't have windows, the statue kept moving.
Oh, the statue is looking at us. All right. The Primogen and the Prince already know this.
Okay. Are you in trouble? Do we gotta worry about like a stalker or something that we all need to like keep an eye out and beat up?
You know how the pyramid works.
Unfortunately.
You know how, like, we used to take those undesirables, slam them together to make gargoyles.
You know, let's just go with other clans instead of undesirables. We'll unpack that later. Especially considering our shadow is a Nosferatu and we have gangrel coterie mates.
Cyrene, I'm an undesirable.
You know, are you telling me you want to work on your self-esteem?
I'm not Tremere.
What are you, Zero?
Okay, there's a couple clans that I know have their own. Are you Ministry? Well, no, Ministry doesn't have it in this, but historic. Okay, so there was a set. Well, they're now Ministry. Or who else kind of said they cornered but weren't really
Cyrene,
supposed
what
to.
clan fears the Camarilla the most? Or less of a clan?
You're a thin blood?
No. To some, I am a step above. To others, I am a step below.
You know, Zero.
Just
Are you
say the word,
telling
Zero.
me you're a caitiff?
Yes. I am a almost 200-year-old caitiff that has been in the pyramid for as long as I can remember, shown what happens to caitiffs if they do not get in line. And every single time I see a gargoyle, I am reminded that if I am not careful, that will become me. And now it is just you and me, a Tremere and a caitiff in a basement.
Oh God! No! And Serene is like backing up, like trying to give Zero as much space as possible. Like, no, that is no.
Siren, if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't have gone down into the basement with you.
Okay, Zero. we really need to work on your approach to things and how you phrase them.
So, Cyrene, with this new revelation, how are you feeling?
They are very confused. Some things are starting to pop into place, like, oh, this is probably why he didn't want me in the room when meeting the prince, and whatnot.
Things are
And just kind of, and then it clicks oh, sorry. And then it clicks, what I'll be made into, and softens, and will, if allowed, just kind of put the hands on Zero's shoulders. Okay. So listen. Islington already said you're a Tremere. The prince has declared it so. And even if Islington somehow went megalomaniac and decided, to unlock forbidden secrets and start pulling a Lynch here, we already killed a Lynch before. And worst comes to worst, you are officially a part of the prince's coterie. So you don't feel safe with us. Pretty sure if you ask the prince nicely, granted you probably have to pay for it, but something could be worked out in terms of protection. I can't promise nothing bad's gonna happen to you. I don't have that kind of power, but
Many
pretty
bad things
sure
happen
this-
to me often.
well, many bad things happen to a lot of us often.
Yeah,
It's kind of what we are.
it's what happens when you live this long, and it's best not to dwell on the bad stuff.
Some of the things we
So-
live through ain't even our own.
Yeah, almost like we live in a world of darkness.
Ah, he said the thing.
But yeah, you took care of Lynch, which is a good thing, and I'm grateful for it because I'm pretty sure Lynch would not have been a big fan of me, even if we are blood related.
You'd actually be surprised. Man valued talent more than it's a whole thing.
Descendants of Goretrix tend to do that. Value knowledge and gathering of knowledge and talent over anything else.
Yes, Cyrene, that is what he just said. That is what he admitted to.
Well, we can't pick our family. Can't pick our clan either, so here we are.
Look, Goretrix decided so badly he did not want me a part of it. He rather broke me than let me be a full-blooded descendant, so,
So we are going to wrap up that conversation here because we're approaching the end of our time. But quick question for Cyrene.
Yeah.
Do you go back to your haven?
Yeah, she probably would. She'd look at Zero like, you gonna go back to the chantry, or are you gonna...
I'm staying here. I'm gonna do research on the gargoyle. Gonna mull over a couple of things that happened this morning. Wrap my mind around it, and I will see you eventually. I know that we have a meeting in a couple of days with the others, so I should be good. I wanted to let you know because Islington told me that I need to work on trust, and so I'm doing that.
Okay.
It's a good start.
So, Cyrene, when you get back to your haven, on the front steps in front of the door to your haven, you find a large bouquet of red and white roses sitting in a red glass vase with a card attached.
Immediately putting gloves on and then using a stick to tip over the card to read it.
The card, very simply, in rather neat handwriting, reads, "Found you, M." And that is where we are going to conclude our stream for this afternoon.
Ah! Sorry.
Now, if you will all join me in welcoming back some of the folks who have been off screen, so that we can have our little bit of a send off. So let's see here. So we're going to start off at the top of the list. Baron Kim, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Kendall. You can find me at Kendall the Elemental on TikTok or Kendall NS on Artfight. That is where anyone's going to currently find me because it's the only place on social media that I care about right now.
Alicia, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hi, I was Alicia Sexton this afternoon. I am G'day FX. I'm one of the storytellers here at Philly by Night, and you can find me at G'day FX on TikTok or anywhere else I want you to find me.
Luke, tell us who you are and how we can find you.
I'm Jonathan Felber. I am Dapper Zombie on TikTok and also other places. I played our, very diplomatic war crime today. So
It's a good way to put it.
Finnegan, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hello, my name is Tristan Kitcat. I play Finnegan Omadra, the mad Irishman who attempted his best at diplomacy today. And I suppose just look up Tristan Kitcat if you want to find me anywhere.
Zero, tell us who you are and how we can find you.
Hello. I'm Nico, and anywhere that you can find me, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, would be at Touch a Goblin, and I played your very anxious mess of a man who was just anxiety and anger personified. Yay!
Cyrene, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Yo, I'm Fennec Lee Wilder. You can find me on most things at the Fennec Wolf. I play Cyrene Leclerc, the Ancilla Tremere Oracle, who's probably not going to tell anybody about this. So yeah.
A therapist who doesn't tell.
Dante, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hello, I am the Humble Spark here on Discord and other places. I played today's normally reserved Ancilla Sombra, who learned how to mesh freestyle and ballet into a singular art form.
Baron Merrick, tell us who you are and how we can find you.
Hi, I'm Abby. I played our lovely Samitsi Baron. And you can find me on TikTok at DatBardicCharm.
And lastly, but not leastly, I have been your ST for the afternoon, Einar. You can find me at Einar_TTRPG on the Clock app or anywhere else I want you to find me. I am just so glad to have had you all here with us this afternoon. Thank you all for some wonderful, wonderful sessions, some great role play. And with that, we are going to call our stream to a close. I want you all to have a wonderful afternoon. And remember, just because we play monsters doesn't mean we can't be the light in somebody's world. Have a great night.